What's up, everybody? It's AJ with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be checking out the Thule T2 Pro 1.25" platform bike rack. It's going to be good for holding two bikes, a bunch of different type of bikes it accommodates. It's a really good rack. Let's check it out. Pretty cool thing right away is a lot of times with these platform racks, they get kind of heavy, so picking them up and carrying them around in your garage can be a little cumbersome. You know, you have to turn sideways if you have a smaller garage than this, and make sure you don't hit the car or the wall. Thule actually put wheels on the bottom of this one, so you can just grab this top handle and wheel it around your garage. It's far easier to maneuver, don't have to carry it, don't have to keep hitting my shins. You can bring it right up to the hitch of your vehicle. You just got to move the pin out like that. You can wheel it right up there, and this car is short enough to where you can kind of tilt it back and tilt it into the hitch, or you can just lift it up from here. Either way, you didn't have to carry it the entire way. I said platform rack, and what that means is the bike sits on the platform here like this, instead of going on a hanging style bike rack where you take the bike and you hang it up on the arms that are holding out like that. It sits on the platform, and this one actually holds it by the tires. So some platform racks, you'll have the hook in the center, there'll be a center mast, which those are all right, but they're usually kind of in the way, and it's kind of difficult to get your bike on there around that center post. This one's nice because you have this hook here. You just load right to one side. You have the strap on this tire. There's nothing in the way here, so you can easily load those bikes and quickly remove the bikes when you need to, which is good because this accommodates a bunch of different style bikes. Like fat tire bike will fit on here. Even an e-bike without a battery would go on here. And those can get a little heavy, and you don't want to have to be going around that center part. It's just kind of a pain. This makes it way easier. Not to mention on these carbon frame bikes, you don't want really any frame contact whatsoever. You don't want to dent this or damage it at all. So it's good that it holds it by the tire instead, so there is no contact here. Taking a closer look at the cradles, they're ready to fit a bunch of different bike tires. You see our road bike tire fits right here in the middle groove. It'll be the smallest groove. Then right outside of that is a bigger groove, and that's more for your mountain bike tires. And then this whole thing can still house a fat tire bike, so it's prepared for all those different types. The other thing I want to point out is that even when you have the front wheel strapped down, this can still move independently. So I can kind of slide this up and under the tire, get it in place, and strap it down that way. It's kind of nice when you go to load these up that you have that option, just so you don't have to kind of balance the bike while you're moving that cradle and try and line that up. That rear cradle being able to slide back and forth down pretty much the whole rail gives you a maximum wheelbase of 50.5 inches. The whole rack has a weight capacity of 100 pounds. So that'd be 50/50 per bike. Now, if you're only carrying one bike, you can bump that up to 60 pounds. So if you just have like a heavier fat tire bike or an e-bike, and you're just taking one of those, you can bump it up to that. Another great feature it has is that you can tilt it away with both bikes loaded. So that means maybe you forgot to throw something in the back of your vehicle. You don't have to unload both bikes to do that. Or if you just want to grab something real quick, throw something in there, you can do that. You just grab the handle down here, you pull it, and you'll hear the audible click, which means you can tilt it away and get to the back. And when you're done, you just lift it back up, and it snaps right back in place. All right, so we're going to drive around the parking lot. First up, we're going to go over the speed bumps. You're going to watch that shake back and forth of the bikes. Looks like they bounce just a little bit, nothing crazy. Everything always does jump when you hit the bumps anyway. Okay, yeah, it hit them. It bounced around just a little bit, adjusted itself. Not a lot after that. Normal driving in the parking lot, it doesn't look like there's too much movement. Looks like a little bit of back and forth, forward and backwards. Now we're gonna get to a little bit more open part of the parking lot. I'll be able to go a little bit faster, and I'm gonna turn left and right pretty sharp and see how the bikes and the bike rack handle that. Here we go. Looks like the bikes handle it pretty well. There wasn't a whole lot of movement back and forth, just as much as there was on the speed bump, so that's pretty impressive. I think the knob that you tighten at the back really pulls out that shake and play while you're going on the road, because it is a heavier platform bike, so it's going to move a little bit, but I was impressed. Back inside, we're going to go ahead and remove the bikes. While I'm doing that, I want to point out that it comes with included integrated cable locks. So they feed in on themselves here. I'm going to unlock it and kind of show you what I'm talking about. take it off the bike. And when I said it feeds into itself, that means when you wrap it around, you just put this metal piece here into that core, and you turn this, and that's what locks it and unlocks it. When you're done, you can pull it right back out. It feeds back into here, and you just let it sit right there like that. While unloading, make sure you do the wheel strap back here first. That way, the hook up front holds the bike upright for you. Just makes it easier. You just push down on this, it releases the strap. You can push that aside. Come over here. You got a trigger here on the inside that you can push in, and that releases this, so you can lift it up and tilt it away. Now I can remove the bike and set it aside. One other extra thing they have added on, which I think is great, that it's not something you have to buy separate, is you can adjust the strap and switch it over for a fat tire bike. And how you do that is you detach it here, then you kind of push it down back through the bottom, pull it out, and then we're going to run it up just the side here. And you see it catches here, and now the strap's way longer, so you can run it through, and now it can fit one of those bigger fat tire bikes. Here's the fat tire bike installed on the bike rack. You can see it stays on there pretty well. You can shake it back and forth. It doesn't move a whole lot side to side. It's just nice that that strap's included with it. It's not something you have to buy separate. With a lot of other bike racks, you kind of have to make that choice of getting a fat tire bike or a standard one. This one, you get it all in one, and it's all together. Now that the bike's removed, we can go ahead and get some measurements. First off, we can go to the closest point from the bike rack to the vehicle, and we're going to get that by going from the center of the hitch pin hole to the closest part of the bike rack. Looks like 7 inches. This is the closest point here. And next up, I want to point out it has a 9-inch rise. So it comes up from here, which is good because most 1.25 inch hitches are a little bit lower and tucked more underneath the vehicle, as you can see on this one. So it needs that rise so that when you go up a hill or a steep driveway, it doesn't bottom out or hit the ground. So it's got a 9-inch rise, so that gives you plenty to get it up and off the ground and avoid those issues. It also folds up. So you pull that same handle that you did to tilt it, just to push it up. And one last measurement, with it folded up, how close does it come to your vehicle? Everyone's going to be different, so we did from the center of the hitch pin hole to this cradle here, and it came out to be about 6 inches. With it folded up like this, I can point out another feature, a lot easier than when it was folded down. These bolts here, the tool included, you can use this to loosen it up and slide this back and forth. That way you can adjust it, so if you have bikes that are similar sizes or getting in each other's way, that's like, you know, handlebars hitting seats and just causing problems, you can shift the tray to one side or the other and kind of adjust that and fix it. Taking a look at how it attaches to the hitch, you have the hand knob here, which tightens it up. Now that also can lock, so that it'll just spin freely when locked, so that nobody can mess with your bike rack or take it out when you're not around. I'll go back to unlocking it. So you loosen it this way. You can already see the bike rack moves a whole lot more with that loose. And then up here is the stinger instead of a pin, which is nice because that's always there. You don't have to have that secondary pin where you got to fish in your pockets to get it, put it in there. This is always attached. It's always going to be there when you go to slide it in. Once you slide in, you can just push the pin back in. It goes in the hole, and you can come back to the hand knob and tighten it down. And I was kind of surprised. Sometimes you have to turn them for quite some time to get them really tight, and then that's dangerous of like over tightening it. But it only took a couple turns to get that tight, and now when I shake it, I'm shaking the whole car now. Now the bike rack's not moving. Overall, I really like this platform rack. The wheels were super handy, something I thought at first would be like, it's not really that big a deal, but it was kind of nice to be able to wheel it around instead of carrying it like that and have it slam into my shins. That's usually what happens when I'm carrying these bigger ones. The only thing I could see is if you don't have a lot of space in your garage to even wheel it out like that, it might not be as useful to you if you have to carry it and roll sideways. It's not going to roll sideways. You have to carry it and walk sideways. So if you don't have the garage space for it, you might want to go with one without wheels because it might not be that much of a use for you. Overall though, like I said, I really liked it. It holds the bikes nice and tight when we're going down the road. It's got the locks and the cable locks built in, so it keeps the bikes Nice and secure even when you're not around. I think it's a good bike rack. Well, I hope this helped. Thanks for hanging out.